Let's get into it. Man, aren't you happy that Stephen Colbert got fired? It needed to happen. Listen, all these agenda pushers, Colbert, Fallon, Kimmel, all these guys need to go. Listen, it's not even like there's a dramatic amount of people watching these guys, but still, they need to go for the things that they have done. Now, Kimmel and Colbert more. Fallon's just kind of like, hey, he's just having a good time. He's dancing with people and stuff. Okay, whatever. But those two, what they have done, what they have pushed is just, it's like Chris Cuomo level. It's Don Lemon level. They're the same type of thing. They're willing to lie. They're willing to make things up. They're willing to make us feel dumb for the choices that we were making when it came to certain things that we didn't want to do. They like just out of control. So let's play a little timeline here. Look at this. This is 2017. Starts at 2017, ends at 2025.
Donald Trump has been sworn in as president of the United States. I know. Listen. We're just as confused as you are. Joe Biden did it. I sat down and just started crying with relief. And Evie said, you never have to talk about him again. And then I cried with joy. After a bizarre and vicious campaign fueled by a desperate need not to go to jail, Donald Trump has won the 2024 election. Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. Donald Trump has been
fantastic. You know why? Because of things like this.
Listen.
Here, let's go to this part really quick. Just this.
I sat down and just started crying with relief. And Evie said, you never have to talk about him again. And then I cried with joy.
You know why? You know why I say that's horrible? Because that didn't actually happen. And he's one of those guys that will push an agenda so far to actually tell his audience of possibly millions of people that I cried with joy, trying to paint the picture that such a bullet has been dodged by Donald Trump not being in office. Trying to paint that picture, he's willing to lie to his audience and telling them that he cried tears of joy, which he didn't. He didn't do that. He's just making it up. Just like when Kimmel was on stage and he started crying because funding was being taken away from Ukraine, USAID. It's just, man, what these guys represent, what they represent. It just, late night used to be such a thing. Used to be such a great thing. Now it's become very sleazy in the sense of you have to be a guy who is only out for money and you're willing to just be worked like a sock puppet, all for the dollar. That's it. That's what you're going for. You'll say anything. You'll do anything. Man, it's so good that this happened. Here's him announcing it on his show.
On Friday, Donald Trump posted, I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings. How dare you, sir? Would an untalented man be able to compose the following satirical witticism?
And he just tells him to go F himself. He has an eloquence cam just saying to go F yourself. Like, ugh. Oh my gosh. Like just so got captured by money, by these agendas that it just allowed him. You know, I talked about this on my other channel. Or no, I talked about this on the episode with Charlie Kirk when I was talking about how when you're not allowed to think certain things and you can't say certain things, even when you know those things are right, even though you know right from wrong, it's going against your moral compass, there's a twisting and a contorting and a burning of your soul that happens. Because your soul knows that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Yeah. I don't know. That's just how I feel about this guy. This guy is just ridiculous. And the main thing, I'll go to this because you need to hear this explanation from Dave Portnoy. But the main thing is this. This was disgusting. I don't even need sound. This was disgusting. Again, painting a picture to people that was he was just willing to do anything. Willing to do anything. And there were certain people where this was able to sway them a certain way, and he was willing to do that to them for money. I'm telling you, man, I get it. Back in the day, he was funny. You could say he's a comedian, he's an entertainer, whatever you want. When you get to the point where you're doing this type of thing to innocent people, when you're pulling this Project Mockingbird type of stuff on innocent people who are literally just looking to unplug when they watch you, man, you're a dirtbag. You're a dirtbag. I'll never forget that. That right there is the thing, man. That's the thing for me. I'll never forget that. I can't believe he did that. But here, like Dave Portnoy actually breaks this down really well. I had no idea. Wait till you hear this.
I run a media company, obviously, Barstool. So this kind of hit home with me. I'm seeing like Bernie Sanders, Comrade Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, all being like, we need an investigation. This is bribery. This is blackmail. CBS only fired Colbert because he criticizes Trump, and they just settled a $16 million lawsuit. And then Colbert went on the air and said he doesn't trust CBS and blah, 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 blah. Like Trump forced this. And then the stats start coming out. Colbert makes $16 million a year. The Late Show with Colbert.
You heard that right. You heard that right. This guy was getting paid $16 million a year. A year. A year. You heard that right. I can't believe that. Crazy.
Loses $40 to $50 million a year. They have a staff of 200 people. Late night ratings are down across the board. He's still got the best ratings of like him, Kimmel, and Fallon, but across the board they're down. So all these shows presumably getting hammered. Now I'm old enough where like late night means something to me. My dad has every episode of David Letterman on like VH1. So when I got invited to go on Fallon this week, like my parents came and they were impressed, and they're impressed by nothing. I told them, like, you guys have never cared I've been on anything. I've been on Rogan's podcast, Theo Vaughn, Alex Cooper, Shannon Sharp, all podcasts that are far more influential, reach way more people than late night at this day and age. But for these people, including like Colbert, to be like, this isn't really right, that we're blindsided, buddy, you're losing $40 million a year. You have 200 people creating one show. We have 200 people at Barstool, content creators, creating like 30 shows. And some of them, the bigger ones, draw a bigger audience than Colbert. So like, what are we talking about? And then you compound that with Colbert openly going on air, being like, I don't trust CBS. This relationship can never be repaired. I can't believe they bowed or paid that lawsuit to Trump. If one of my employees, who I was paying $16 million a year while losing $40 million a year, went on their show and was like, I don't like Dave. I don't trust Dave. You know what I would do?
Of course. And I didn't realize that was one of the things. I was just like, oh, well, Colbert sucks. Obviously, they got rid of him. Just makes sense. But then on top of that, he was actually saying that stuff about CBS, about Paramount. And the whole time he's costing them money. So they're just like, well, we settled for $16 million. Colbert doesn't like it. We pay him $16 million. Let's just get rid of the show. And It's like nothing. It's like nothing happened and then some. It's like we made money if we get rid of him right now. Are you kidding me? Wow. And then you know where the money went, right? Do you guys know where the money went? South Park gets renewed for a 5-year deal with Paramount. $1.5 billion for 10 episodes a year. Money well spent. Money well spent. You know, they threw that little bit of change. They're like, let's give it to South Park. Screw it. We don't need this Colbert nonsense. This junk. Look at this junk. You kidding me? Man, I'm so glad it happened. I got to be honest. I'm so glad because I've already said everything I have to say, man. Like these guys, this is just the worst that you can do if you're making money. Dave Portnoy is just making money. He's just like, he's rich. He's a guy who's just making money. He has a media company. He just makes the money. That's it. But when you get to the point where you're doing stuff like this and you're willing to do that to the American people, the ones that are susceptible enough, and you're willing to be part of the campaign that sways them in that way, and you just walk off after you got your $16 million, you're like, fine by me. Doesn't matter what happened to anybody. It's fine. Safe and effective. Bye. It's like, man, I'll never forget that. But yeah, there you go. And the thing is, they're not hiring anybody. There's no replacement. They're throwing the whole show out. There is no more late night. Because you have to think about it. When it comes to the South Park thing, you know, it's $1.5 billion. It's way more than what Colbert was worth or what he was making or anything like that. But South Park is not a morning show. South Park is a late night show that you're going to watch late at night when you're just chilling, friends, maybe no one, whatever. But when you're Paramount, when you're this division of CBS, Paramount, what you're trying to do is you're trying to have people just watch your show at night. You don't care if it's an agenda pusher. You don't care if it's some guy who doesn't like Trump. You don't care about, especially nowadays, when Trump is actually like, you know what? I'm actually listening to what you say. And if you say the wrong thing, I'm just going to sue you because I can. I know I can. It's not just because I'm president. It's because you're actually just making things up. So if you make things up, then this is the route that's going to happen. So it's like, what would you rather? Just have it be South Park? South Park can make fun of Trump. They'll do it in such an outlandish way that nobody will be able to hate on it. Everybody will laugh, even people who are supporters, of course. So if you're just looking for eyeballs at night, obviously you're going to go with South Park, pump all your money that you can possibly pump into that, because that's going to be the way that people are actually going to watch your ads, and you're going to be able to attract new advertisers as well, and get rid of this Colbert and all this nonsense. Who's watching this stuff? People are down for the clips where he talks about Trump, et cetera, but it's not moving the needle in any important way. But I know what's going to happen, and I'm calling it right now. You're going to see Colbert make an appearance on Jon Stewart's show, The Daily Show. He's going to come back. People are going to go wild. It's not going to be nearly as good as when he was on there back in the day, when he was basically Benny Johnson. I mean, Colbert, you go watch it if you don't know. If you're young enough and you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch The Daily Show back when Colbert was on that. He was Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson is just Stephen Colbert 15 years ago. It's crazy. Go watch it. But it's not going to be the same. It's going to be nonsense. It's going to be them saying F this and F that and blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Good riddance, man. Good riddance. Move on to the next one. Kimmel, you're up next. Have fun.